Welcome to the shooting show. This week we're out on the hill with Chris Dalton. Okay, this week's show, Graham and I are back up at Kinnaird estate. Work commitments, clients get in the way, weather, so we never actually got around to being out on the hill and filming some of the rutting activity. It's been quite spectacular this year. It's been a very, very good red rut. The weather was cold at the right times, and it's been a traditional good rut, and when they've been rutting hard. So we've had a period of about 3 weeks where they've just been at it almost every day. Last year was a bit of a strange one because of the warm weather, but this year it's been very good. We did actually manage to film a stag that's been down in one of the lower fields on the sort of central pasture where the broadleaf woodland is, holding Hind, so we've got quite a nice shot of that on camera. But Graham and I, unfortunately, the only day we got out to film was basically fairly brief sessions, evening and morning, right at the end of the beginning of the hinds. So for the first session, morning session, out on just on the edge of the hill actually, kind of where our broadleaf woodland finishes. Got into a kind of small group, a couple of novice stags, some hinds. That involved a crawl across quite an open patch of where the heather's been flailed off for the grouse. So quite an open patch to get across. It was quite tricky. Unfortunately, Graham had to kind of wait behind. I couldn't really have him trying to drag a tripod and a camera across a 100-yard patch of clear ground, so he kind of held back. So we unfortunately don't get the actual shot on camera. You just see the after shot, if you like, where we're just recovering it. Okay, we've got a yearling hind here. We're basically right on the edge of a restock site. We're going to plant this up. We're going to film some of the trees coming out. They're nearly finished. We've got a group of deer coming out the trees, and we've just managed to get round just on the edge of the hill and used a bit of dead ground, managed to get into them. That was the morning, and then the plan was recover that, get back in, have a bit of breakfast, and then go out again in the afternoon and see what we could find in the afternoon. We have another kind of fairly large woodland creation scheme going on at Kinnaird. Basically thinned out some really old conifers in one of the blocks which Mike used a lot for one of his sort of game areas. He got a pen in there. The conifers have come out, broadleaf have been left in, and then that's going to be restructured and replanted over the course of the next 12 months, and then that planting is going to extend up the hill, so actually creating a new woodland on the edge of that. So clearly there's a fair bit of pressure on me to get in there and just see what the situation is. Re deer, we get a lot of deer coming off the hill and walking down through this onto the pasture fields at the bottom. Certainly the big stag had been holding some hinds down there, so I wanted to go and have a look at that and see what was going on with that. Stag and hinds have come out into the field kind of in front of us, so we've got nice footage of the stag in question, roaring a little bit. Still roaring on the hill, coming to the end of it, fizzling out now, but there's still a bit of activity going on. Still waiting for the last of the hinds to come into season. So we kind of bypassed him and then went on through the woodland and got into a group of hinds just in the trees, in the bracken. Fortunately managed to engineer a shot effectively through a couple of trees really, where the hind was nicely broadside to us, got a clear shot. Cameraman was over to my right. I had to wait a little while because the hinds were milling round. He kind of corralled them a little bit, the stag that was with them. So I had to wait for a clear shot because obviously you can't shoot through the hind when there's deer behind it. But anyway, I managed to get a nice just a little window of opportunity, and hind shot on camera. I don't know whether Graham got it on camera, but there's a big stag right at the last day, first day of the hinds. There's a big stag still holding hinds just on the right. I couldn't really see it for the bracken. Just these big antlers rattling about. I don't know whether we've got any of that. We might have. It's quite windy. There's a nice yearling hind. The problem initially was they'd all grouped together. He'd corralled them, so there wasn't really a clear shot. There was deer behind, but fortunately we just got a gap. A yearling hind came into the no calf, came into the centre of the middle of the trees there. The thing about it was there was no deer in the background, so it was a safe shot. Other than that, they were all corralled and you just couldn't pick any of the youngsters out. I wasn't shooting either a calf or a yearling. Obviously at this time of year we try to leave the mature hinds and be selective about what we take, so that's a good animal to shoot. But magnificent stag there, still grumbling and still roaring. We had quite a good rut here actually, some good stags in. Right, I'll go and this is where we need a dog in bracken like this. My dog absolutely wired this evening. I've absolutely no other evening. I don't know why. She was took some holding back. Wait. She just needed to work and get a job done. I think after 3 weeks up on the hill, where we've had to recover a couple of stags that were not shot perfectly, so she's had to work on that. So I think she thinks every time out now she's got a deer to go and recover. So I need to just steady her up a little bit, because she's bloody lively, but she is good. She's absolutely mustard on a line, or if we lose a deer, she's on it in a flash. Show me. Where is it? Show me. Show me. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Right, come on, let's get this out. Good lass. Merkel gear I've been wearing now for a while. This is the first real hard test of it. I mean, I've been up on the hill for the best part of 3 weeks on stags, and can imagine we've had every weather. We've had pretty good weather actually, but there's been some sort of interesting weather in between it, and the Merkel gear has caught particularly well. Base layers are fantastic, and the outer jacket, absolutely superb. Again, you'll see that, so it is good kit. I can vouch for that because I don't wear bad kit. The last thing I want to be doing is wearing rubbish when I'm out on a hill, up in the tops of Scotland somewhere when it's coming horizontal and it's cold. So the kit certainly performed very well. And equally the rifle, I've been using the 243 actually, the Hind 10 Jägersport varmint, absolutely cracking rifle. In fact, I had an American with me, shot 4 stags and a roebuck actually over the course of the trip, and I'd held on to get it back off him because he was off to shipping it over to the States with him. Very good rifle, really solid, nice to hold. Just everything about it I like, and it's not a rifle combination I've been familiar with, to be honest with you, with the Miopta kit on it, but it is absolutely superb. And if anybody thinks that's going back to anybody after I've finished testing it, then it ain't happening, because that's stopping here.
Chris there, proving why he's the uber professional. And now it's the Shooting Show News.
This is the Shooting Show News. A general election has been called for the 12th of December, and BASC has urged all of its members to vote for shooting when polling day arrives. The UK's largest shooting organisation has set up a dedicated polling website so you can check whether your local candidates support shooting. And if their views aren't known, you can lobby them using the direct email links. Check out the website now at basc.org.uk/election 2019. The RSPB is reviewing its policy on game bird shooting. You might expect it to have a hardline anti-shooting policy, but BASC says it actually expects the review to be evidence-based. BASC's Director of Conservation, Caroline Bedell, said the evidence will point the review directly and clearly towards shooting as an activity that massively benefits the economic and environmental makeup of the British countryside. The review will take up to a year to complete. Newcomers to fox hunting have yet again taken the opportunity to get involved during the annual Hunting Newcomers Week. A number of hunts held specific newcomers events this year, with packs from Cornwall up to Scotland welcoming those who wish to follow hounds for the first time. If you want to get involved, look out for the Countryside Alliance's dedicated Boxing Day meet listing and interactive map, or contact your local hunt secretary for details of suitable meets. And finally, With voting open for the Great British Shooting Awards 2020, we take a look at one of the categories you can have your say in. This week it's the Optics Product of the Year over £1,000, and the nominees are Nightforce SHV Illuminated, Swarovski SLC Binos, Swarovski DS Scope, Vortex Fury 5000 Rangefinding Binos, Zeiss Victory RF 10x42 Binos. You can have your say in who wins. Head to greatbritishshootingawards.com to vote. That was the Shooting Show News.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of BASC, it's time to join now. BASC, looking after your sport, looking after you. This has been The Shooting Show.